Are there any existential threats to the appraisal profession that we really should keep our eye on?
No.
Well, I'll throw out technology. Just what technology has done in the residential side, on the commercial side, if we don't pay attention, there's so much that can be loaded, whether it's data sources. I mean, I even did some review work where one particular firm, all they did was they had their automated software download everything out of Wikipedia and put it into the reports, and they didn't even cite them, and they got sued. But I think technology now is moving quick enough. We thought it would never affect us in commercial real estate because all leases were proprietary and they were unique enough. And guess what? You have entities like a CompStack today that collect all the leases and they can load them into anything. But I think technology, those that aren't up to speed with it, that know how to use it and check it, make sure that it's not abused and validate it. But I think technology, I honestly believe, I'm 60. I think I'm hoping I'll be done before 70. But I think within the next 10 years that we will see such a change in technologies that as much as half of the professionals that we use today will be functionally and economically obsolete. So you better stay on top of technology. I think that is the big one.
Yeah, I know. I don't. I'll tell you a story. I mean, my background is running associations. So prior to coming to this organization, I ran medical associations, and same thing for medicine was technology and specifically AI. And so as I looked at our X-ray technicians, you go in and break your leg or something like that, you go get an X-ray, and if 5 years ago or 3 years ago, it would take a couple of days for you to get back the results of that X-ray because the technician is inundated with all the other stuff, but the technician had to look at it to ensure that they can tell you what the diagnosis is. Well, AI came aboard, and as AI started to learn, more and more X-rays they looked at, the better they were in order to come back with the diagnosis very quickly. And so this field was very concerned about AI coming in and taking over what they were doing. And that's what was happening. And what they ended up doing was, yes, they're going to use AI to help with the simple stuff, but the complex stuff is where you're going to need that technician. So I tell that story is that AI or technology is going to come into this field. We can't stop it, but we can work with it. We can figure out ways that we can use the technology to complement what we do today. So we may not, the appraiser may not have to worry about the basic stuff because that's what the AI is going to do. But the complex stuff is where the expertise is going to come in that AI can never get to.
Yeah, and to piggyback on that, with every threat comes opportunity, and the opportunity is we've got an aging profession, and for people who are coming into the industry, people who are the younger professionals who are looking for a place to land, appraisal is such a perfect place for them because number one, they're going to be able to adapt to the technology. I mean, like Casey was saying, it's kind of like you get to a point in life where it's like, do I really want to go back and learn all this new stuff? Do I really want to go back and learn this new technology, all these emerging things that maybe it's maybe time for me just to hang it up, right? We've got a lot of that with the aging population. So for us, to be sitting in the situation that we're in, if I were a young professional looking for something that's going to require technology and you got to be tech savvy, we're always going to need people to analyze the data. Yeah, you might be able to have AI, you might be able to have some structures or some valuation processes in place, but somebody's got to be there to maneuver the levers. Somebody's got to be able to pull the handle, right? And so I think there's going to be great opportunities for young appraisers coming in because of technology.
So to show you that, I have all my dad and grandfather's legacy appraisals back to the 1940s and 50s. So they were little skinny things put on onion skin paper because you can only fit so many carbons in there. They had the color code in the map exhibits. They used Polaroid film. And so they're pretty thin, but they had none of the data that we do today. And so the analysis to do these might take 2 or 3 weeks that we can do in 2 or 3 days today. And it's going to get quicker and quicker than that. So, if you don't think it changes a lot, just think, I think back in my career, when I first started, how many trips a week I made to the film place to drop film off to get all the prints redone.
1 hour photo, yep.
What's film and what's a photo place anymore when we have our cameras? So if, when I started in 1985, I bought my first computer which was a compact that had the fold down screen where you put the DOS floppy in, and then you'd put in, it was Lotus, I think. We didn't have Excel back then, or a word processor. That was only 30, 35 years ago. And you just think of the evolution, and every computer cost about $3,000 until about 10 years ago. Then they dropped to $500, but every edition. And so when you think about the data, different data resources, where you can look, I use a system called Castle Systems for Office, who's going back to work by state, that I rarely see in an appraisal analysis. Johnny, you talk about, think of night on all of what's happening on the foreclosures and whatnot. It's just not developing. So good night data type stuff, the earnings reports. So it's changing so quickly that I can't even imagine where this profession is in 10 years, but you're both right. The high skill, those that keep up will be valued. The low skill, the commodity, fast and cheap appraiser, you're gone.
Yeah. And people talk all the time, Lucas, about how there's less and less licensees, right? Well, we're not doing less work. We're doing more work than we've ever done, but more work is being done by less appraisers. And that's the evolution of technology. So, if you, like I said, you're either going to embrace technology and you're going to evolve with it, or you're going to either phase yourself out and somebody's going to come in and they're going to be the next generation of appraiser too. So, and again, I know that I said, a lot of times, when I talk about even me learning new tricks, I haven't appraised for like 4 years. I've gone to the leadership. I've been doing a lot of work with the AI. I dread kind of going back and learning the new technology, because even in those 4 years since I've been gone, it's evolved substantially. Right. And so I look at it, and I look at our industry. I look at the age of the industry. If I was a young person and I was looking at our industry, well, I'd be salivating at the opportunities that there are in the appraisal world.
Lucas and Valkyrie will help you out.
I need it.
It's definitely something that, we are very confident in the industry, and we see it as a big opportunity, bringing younger team members into the profession and teaching them the ways and having, a more technological and streamlined way of creating appraisals. You talk about going to the 1 hour photo, and now you just, you load your photos right in from your camera and you can create maps on the fly. And it's just, there's just so much more opportunity for adding that real analysis that, comes from actually somebody's head versus, the commoditized items of, gathering data or pulling in photos and things like that, is not necessarily the true value that appraisal clients are actually paying for, right? They're paying for the analysis of real estate. And at the end of the day, they're paying for the opinion of value that appraiser is providing. So.
Yeah. The days of 4 hours to tape photos into reports are gone. Thank goodness. Because I remember those days where you used to have that quarter and you used to have to, rub off the subject arrow and then the comparables. People don't know when you think back to it. I know a lot of people complain about fee and how fees have not gone up, but I always ask, are you making less money? And the answer is always no. Exactly. You're probably getting the same fees back then, but just think how long it took them to put together that report.
Yep.
Interesting.